What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and I'm here to do another topics review video. And as you can tell from the topic down below, I'll be talking about my thoughts of David Hayter not voicing the voice of Big Boss in Metal Gear Solid 5, as it's probably been officially announced. I would just like to say that as for their decision to not use David Hayter for this particular Metal Gear Solid game, I do support that decision. However, from the explanations for as why they don't want to use it on certain topics, I do not agree. Now, in terms of getting a different voice actor for this version of Snake, we're getting to the point in the Big Boss's life where he's much older, and so inevitably his voice is going to change. From, I would say, Metal Gear Solid 3 to Peace Walker, he's been pretty mid-age, and so he would sound a lot like Solid. So, you know, that makes general sense. But as it was shown in Metal Gear Solid 4, someone else was doing the voice of Big Boss, so it would have sounded very weird to have Solid Snake and Big Boss talking to each other with the same voice actor. So obviously you have to get a new voice actor, so that works. So on that note, yeah, it doesn't bother me. What I would like to know is, I would really like to know who this voice actor is and if he really knows anything about this character, because I think what made David Hayter such an iconic voice actor, in my opinion, even on the level of someone like Mark Hamill, who, you know, just no longer does the Joker anymore, is that he probably is the single person who would understand the character of both Big Boss and Solid Snake almost better than anyone. And in many cases, even better than Hideo Kojima would know. Hideo Kojima, on many occasions in certain interviews, has stated that even he sometimes gets confused with the overall storyline of the Metal Gear Solid franchise. And he's the one who wrote it. And so it begs the question as for who really understands a character. Is it the person who created the character, or is the person who brought that character to life? So the fact that they are using a new voice actor, you know, gets me a little jumpy, because if they just voice it in and they don't really care about the character, then we're not going to feel the connection with Snake that we have been feeling since we started playing with Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops, and if they do any more Metal Gear Solid games after this particular point in time. As for a couple of statements that I heard from Reddit and a couple of articles talking about why Hideo Kojima didn't want to use David Hayter, they, you know, saying that he was an amateur voice actor. That's highly inappropriate and just incorrect. No. David Hayter brought that character to life and made Solid Snake an icon. He wasn't even an undernote until Metal Gear Solid. No one really gave a damn about his character in Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. I mean, because he didn't have a voice. Bringing a character to life really solidifies just how legendary a character like Solid Snake and Big Boss have become. So, again, I am a bit upset about it, but here's one thing I do want to state right now. We're getting to the point where Big Boss and Solid Snake are probably going to have their first meeting. I don't think it's going to happen in this game, but if they decide to do a Metal Gear Solid 6, then after Metal Gear Solid, that takes place after 5, and Solid Snake is in there, even a young one, then you need to bring David Hayter back. There is no excuse. He has done the voice of Solid Snake, young Snake to old Snake. So picking a different voice actor to try to do Solid Snake would just be insulting. And, you know, personally, I'm a little iffy about if it's a good idea to keep making these Metal Gear Solid games, because, I mean, the game series starts with 3 and it ends with 4, and so we're really filling up the few gaps in the timeline that we don't really know what's happening. And I do not want them, if they don't want to, I don't want them to do a storyline before 3 with involving Big Boss or Jack or Naked Snake at that point. And I certainly do not want them to do a storyline after 4 with Snake, because as Resident Metal Gear Solid Rising indicated, it's a safe bet that at that point in time, Solid Snake is probably dead. It's getting to the point where he may be shoehorning games in to make it seem like he's desperate just to do another Metal Gear Solid game. I'm perfectly fine with the franchise being rebooted of a new character going in a different direction. I think a lot of us would have accepted that after 4. I mean, it really did tie in all the storyline elements that had come across throughout the entire series and answered all the questions that we had for the franchise. So, throwing all these new games in between these 2 games generates problems, because then it presents questions which none of the games are aware of, and they don't answer. And so you have to make another game in order to answer the questions in this game. So, that is just my only concern in a whole. Again, I'm not upset that David Hayter is not going to voice Snake in Metal Gear Solid 5, but if they do bring back Solid Snake from this point on in the timeline, you need to bring him back. And I do not agree with a lot of the statements that David Kojima has said about why he does not want to use David Hayter. If he had just said it's just due to the fact that he's, Big Boss is getting older, so his voice is going to change, so we can see the difference between Big Boss and Solid Snake, then that makes sense. So, if you like this video, please like and comment down below, and please tell me your guys' thoughts if you think this is a good move or a bad move, or what you expect to see in the Metal Gear Solid franchise in general. And like always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.